Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badharayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishwaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Om Shri Medha Dakshina Murti Swamine Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्धदामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्ख्यपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिगत मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Namaste everyone.
Namaste Guruji.
Stay. Having a bad cold. So after all that discussion on the background of the 6th chapter, today we will enter into the 6th chapter. And the 6th chapter, the entire 6th chapter can be divided into 5 main topics. What are they? I mean, it is not that Krishna has devised this division. It is our Acharyas who have gone through the 6th chapter, and for ease of our understanding, they have been divided or classified into 5 topics. As I told you, the main topic, the subject matter of 6th chapter is Atma Sanyama Yoga or Dhyana or meditation. So first topic is general preparations for meditation. What are they? Which we call Samanya Sadhanani, otherwise also called Bahiranga Sadhanani, general preparations for meditation, and by which we mean those preparations or those disciplines which are to be observed throughout our transaction. It is not a specific discipline to be practiced, but they are general disciplines to be observed throughout our day-to-day transactions. Later on, we will discuss more about the significance of these general disciplines. At this stage, we will just note that there are certain general disciplines which we should follow at all times. Then the second topic discussed is the specific disciplines or preparations, which we can call Vishesha Sadhanani, which are to be observed just before meditation. They are not to be observed throughout the day, but only before we have actual meditation. So they are called Vishesha Sadhanani or Antaranga Sadhanani. or in English we can say specific preparation before meditation. Then the third topic that we find in this chapter is Dhyana Swarupam, the process of meditation. What is meditation? Is it concentrating on something, or is it remaining thoughtless, still and silent? Is it the destruction of the mind, or is it going away from the mind, transcending the mind? Because different people have interpreted meditation in different ways. In fact, as many people are there, so many definitions are also there. So we should know from a Vedantic point of view what meditation is. So in Sanskrit, we call it Dhyana Swarupa, nature of meditation. So this is topic number 3. Then the fourth topic is the benefit of meditation. Dhyana Phalam. Are we going to get some miraculous powers, like levitation or flying? Whether you can fly in and fly out of the class. Wherever you are, you just think about it, you can log into the class. You don't need to come to a laptop and all. Will I get the power to read other people's thoughts, predicting the thoughts, etc.? What is the benefit? What is expected of Vedantic meditation? Dhyana Phalam with regard to Vedantic meditation, mind you, not Upasana. So this is the fourth topic. And the fifth topic is obstacles and their remedies during meditation. Obstacles of meditation and how to handle those obstacles. It's a very, very important topic. It's called Dhyana Pratibandha Pariharav. Pratibandha means obstacles. Pariharav means remedy. One of the most, one of the significant obstacles we will come across when we start meditating is sleep. You may find it difficult to sleep at night, but whenever you sit in meditation, you are guaranteed to get immediate, instant sleep. In fact, meditation can be used as a cure for insomnia. What is that background noise? Somebody is
too late.
So we can use meditation as a cure for insomnia, especially if you have not slept at night. Morning, get up, take bath and sit for meditation. You will guarantee 2 hours you will sleep. Another obstruction or distraction of the mind is another obstacle rather. Shastra, of course, discusses many obstacles. Krishna also mentions one obstacle and also tells us how to deal with that. So this is the fifth topic. So there are 5 topics: general preparation, specific preparation, meditation process, benefit of meditation, and finally the obstacles and their remedy. There is, of course, a 6th topic also, but it is not directly connected with meditation, and therefore we are not dealing with that. We have to note only these 5. And of these 5, Krishna starts with general preparation. I will tell you the significance of the general preparation and why Krishna insists upon general preparation. We all know that we have got only one mind to do our day-to-day transactions, right? And also to practice meditation. It is not that we have got two minds, like some mobile phones have got this dual SIM provision. One SIM they will use for only incoming calls, another SIM they will use for outgoing calls, something like that and now. But we don't have a dual mind that we can use one mind for all outside transactions. Insert mind number one and go through all kinds of experiences, anger, frustration, disappointment, irritation, all those things. Then insert mind number two, take out mind number one, insert mind number two, sit for meditation. Very clean mind without any problem. So before meditation, you take a fresh mind. You got a beautiful mind, very less used mind, and enjoy meditation. This is possible if you have got two minds. Unfortunately, that is not possible. The mind which has gone through the day-to-day transaction, the same mind is sitting in meditation. And the day-to-day transaction has given a very strong imprint. Quarrel with your spouse, quarrel with your boss, quarrel with the taxi driver probably. Whatever it is, no? Mind is agitated, the mind is disturbed. And when the mind is disturbed during transactions, the disturbance forms a deep impression or what we call a samskara in the mind. It creates a scar. And once a deep disturbance or samskara is formed in the mind, what happens? That samskara will surface whenever the mind is quiet. You can observe your mind very regularly about this. When your mind is not preoccupied, whatever is deep in your subconscious, that alone surfaces. Excuse me. It's like, a rubber ball. Normally, a rubber ball will float in water if you throw it. But if you hold the ball and press it down, it will be underwater. But the moment you release the pressure, the ball will jump to the surface. So as long as the pressure is there, the ball will be under the surface. But when the pressure is released, it will manifest on the surface of the water. Similarly, in our subconscious mind also, there are so many emotions. They are all waiting. Now they do not surface because our mind is preoccupied with something. And as long as the conscious mind is involved in deliberate action, the subconscious mind will remain underneath. But the moment the conscious mind takes rest, becomes the free from all day-to-day activities, the waiting subconscious mind will surface. And when you sit in meditation, you sit with the sankalpa that I am going to quieten my mind. I am going to focus, concentrate, and that is the ideal time. When your conscious mind withdraws from all other preoccupation, then the subconscious impressions are bound to come to the surface. And if during the day I had disturbing emotions, they will remain as samskaras. And during meditation, those transactions will suddenly jump up. It's not necessarily that only today's transaction, because whatever has happened in the past also, some disturbing things, they are all stored. They don't go anywhere. They are all stored in the subconscious mind if they were considered very important by your mind. It stores all important things. Small things and all mind will discard it. Important documents it will store. And therefore, we should find out a method by which violent disturbances are not entertained. And I do not allow my subconscious mind to form disturbing samskara. How to do that? How to neutralize the possible scar in the mind? And that is, Krishna says, is done by training the mind to have samatvam. See, Krishna beautifully connects everything. In fact, the whole Vedanta is a thread rather. They may appear to be individual topics, but each topic is interconnected. Once you train your mind to have samatvam, you can overcome this issue. You can recall that anecdote I have shared with you regarding a rich philosopher, businessman, who lost everything, including his family, in the high seas. When the news came to the philosopher, that businessman, and they said that you have lost everything, then what was his first response? He was shocked. He said, "What?" Almost the heart was about to stop. But he was a philosopher. He has trained his mind to respond to the situations appropriately. So immediately he recovers, gets his balance back, and makes the second statement. So what? So this changing from what to so what requires tremendous mental training. And that is samatva. And this samatvam or tranquility is called what? That is called karma yoga. And therefore, Krishna talks about karma yoga as a method of maintaining the tranquility of the mind, the balance of the mind. So when you have got violent emotional upheavals, violent emotional disturbances during your day-to-day life, those disturbances will adversely influence your meditation. However sincere you are, it will not work. You can in fact try today itself after the class. Whatever be the transaction which has created an emotional impact, maybe a happy or maybe unhappy experience. Like for example, last week, your favorite team winning the IPL or losing the IPL. Swami Paramahansa says, it is like the final of the Wimbledon. That is over. What happens? Both the winner and the loser will not sleep. Winner will not sleep because he is extremely happy. The loser will not sleep because he is extremely unhappy, disappointed. Both are emotional upheavals, will go and form a very deep impression in the mind, and they will not allow you to sleep. Any emotional upheaval is going to influence your meditation. And therefore, Krishna tells you should learn the art of keeping the mind in balance. You should develop samatvam. And by balance, I am not saying it's an emotionless mind. Because if you are totally free from emotion, you are jadam. There is no difference between you and the wall. We are not talking about emotionless mind. As a human being, we have emotions. But we are talking about a mind which does not have violent emotions. We can have emotions which will not be carried forward. You can be happy, you can be sad, but after that event, you forget it. Don't carry it forward. Therefore, the first general preparation is learning the art of keeping a balanced mind in a relative sense of the term. I am not carried away by sorrowful situations. I am not carried away by happy situations also. I enjoy. But when I do the next job, my mind is available for the next job. This is called mental mastery. So this samatvam is a precondition for successful meditation. And mind you, this samatvam is only one of the preconditions, not the only one. Krishna will talk about a few more other preconditions. But the one important precondition that he stresses is samatva. Now the question is, how can I maintain the balance of mind? How to get samatvam? And if you ask such a question to Lord Krishna, he will be very disappointed. Because he says, you have come to the 6th chapter. I talked about samatvam in the 2nd and 3rd chapters, especially in the 2nd chapter. I told you, yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyor samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. I told you that. I have explained to you what is samatvam. Now you are again asking how to get samatvam. I have prescribed, I have presented the Karma Yoga way of life as a means of samatvam. I have told you Karma Yoga is samatvam. And to emphasize the Karma Yoga, the role of Karma Yoga, here Krishna wants to glorify the Karma Yogi. And the Karma Yogi is none other than a Grihastha, a householder. Therefore, Krishna praises the householder, glorifies the householder. By glorifying a Karma Yogi, Krishna is glorifying Karma Yoga itself. Therefore, the 6th chapter begins with the glorification of a Karma Yogi householder. He is glorifying Samatvam. So you should have an overall vision. Grihastha glorification is equal to Karma Yoga glorification. And Karma Yoga glorification is equal to Samatvam glorification. This is the equation you must have in mind. How these are all connected. Therefore, in the first 3 verses, Krishna talks about Karma Yoga as an art of living, to enjoy a balanced mind, so that when you come to meditation, you can forget all your emotional problems, office problems, family problems, neighborhood problems, all of them you can keep aside, and your mind is available for the task at hand. And here we have to note one point. I have classified the chapter into 5 topics. But as I told you in the beginning, Krishna does not make this clear distinction or division, because Krishna's teaching is free-flowing. Krishna has not come prepared that I will talk about general discipline, specific discipline, etc. As and when Arjuna had raised a doubt or a question, Krishna will address that doubt, which requires him to discuss these topics as well. Therefore, the verses are all topic-wise mixed and strewn all over. So it is our job to do a postman's job. What does the postman do? He will take all the letters from the letter box or the post box, take it to the post office. Then there will be, pigeon holes, Chennai letter, Coimbatore letter, Delhi letter, Mumbai letter and all, and he will sort those letters. Similarly, what we have to do, we have to sort the verses and put each of them under the appropriate topic. So this verse will go under general preparation. This verse will go under dhyana phalam, etc. But then we need not worry about this also, because our great Guruji Swami Paramarthanandaji has done this job for us. So let us offer our namaskaram and gratitude to him and thank him for his guidance. So with this background, we will enter into the text proper. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. अथ षष्ठोऽध्यायः आत्मसंयमयोगः। श्रीभगवानुवाच अनाश्रितः कर्मफलं कार्यं कर्म करोति यः स सन्न्यासी च योगी च न निरग्निर्न चाक्रियः। The Anvaya of this sloka is यह कर्मफलं अनाश्रितः कार्यम कर्म करोति सह सन्यासी च योगी च निरग्निः न अक्रियः च न। Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Lord said, Saha yah karoti, he who performs, karma karyam, the action to be done, anashritaha, without expecting karma phalam, the result of action, sannyasi is a sannyasi, cha na niragnihi, and not a renouncer of rituals, cha yogi, moreover he is a yogi, cha na akriyaha, and not a renouncer of activities. So the Lord said, he who performs the action to be done without expecting the result of action is a real sannyasi and not a renouncer of rituals. Moreover, he is a yogi and not a renouncer of activities. So this chapter begins with Lord Krishna's voluntary teaching of meditation. Remember, even though in the earlier chapters Arjuna had some specific questions, Arjuna did not ask for this topic of meditation. So this is something which Krishna feels is very important, Vedantic sadhana. Where Arjuna probably may not even have had an idea that such a thing has to be done. So Krishna starts with the general preparation, and therefore this verse comes under Bahiranga or Samanya Sadhanam, which is Karma Yoga, as a method of keeping the mind in equipoise. What is Karma Yoga? We have seen in detail. But here Krishna sums up the same. A Karma Yogi is one who considers spiritual growth as the priority in life. He may value material accomplishments, but that value is subservient to spiritual growth. If he has to choose between spiritual growth and material benefit, he will vote for spiritual growth alone, even if it involves some material loss, giving up some material advantages. He will say, for me, spiritual growth is important. I do not mind giving up those benefits, these benefits, material benefits. So his priorities are very clear. Such a person is called karma yogi, one for whom dharma and moksha are priority, even though he is not averse to artha and kama. He does not criticize them, but that is not his top priority. He values wealth, he values entertainment in life. Certainly they are required, but they are not primary. Therefore, Krishna says, anashritaha karma phalam. Here, karma phalam means the material benefits of action, the arthakama benefits, maybe name or fame, promotion, extra salary, extra perks, buying things, possessing things, so many things, We do not belittle them. We do need all of them for living comfortable life. But at what cost is the question? What do I sacrifice for the sake of getting all of them? If the sacrifice is my spirituality itself, better I sacrifice those benefits and vote for spirituality. Such a person is here called yogi. Therefore, karma phalam anashritaha. He does not rely upon, he does not focus on material benefit. And then what type of actions he undertakes? Karyam karma karoti yaha. Karyam karma means those actions which are prescribed by the scriptures, which are specially meant for inner growth. Because scriptures prescribe two types of activities. One set of activities purely for enjoyment. Eat well, drink well, all those things, Arthakama pradhana activities by which you can enjoy life thoroughly. And the scriptures also talk about those activities which will primarily contribute to your inner growth, chitta shuddhi. And we have seen this topic discussed in detail in the 3rd chapter. We have seen those karmas being described as Panchamaha Yajna. We have also seen that such activities are those where the beneficiaries are in large numbers and not restricted to just me, my family, which is the case with Arthakama Pradhana activities. Therefore, in terms of, the Panchamaha Yajna, etc., karma, etc., not only I benefit, in the process, the society also benefits. So such welfare, selfless activities are called karyam karma, otherwise called nitya naimittika karma, otherwise called vihita karma, otherwise called nishkama karma, otherwise called panchamaha yajna, activities designed for inner growth, selfless activities. And a karma yogi does these activities. And even in those activities, a karma yogi does not have any hidden agenda to get some recognition, praise, some Padma Shri or Padma Vibhushan award, etc. He does all these activities purely for the sake of inner growth, spiritual growth, which is invisible. Material benefit is concrete, visible, whereas spiritual benefit is subtle and invisible. And that is why, we always find it easy to sacrifice these karmas. It is easier for many people to drop Sandhya Vandanam than to avoid a TV show or even engaging in stock market activities, etc. In fact, once a person, long time ago told me, he was doing Sandhya Vandanam very regularly. I was quite impressed with that person. Then he told, I am doing Sandhya Vandanam regularly because I believe that by doing so, I will get promotion, good job, good salary, etc. At that time, I also did not know any idea about, much before I got into Vedanta and all that. But now I realize he was one person who has converted a Dharma Purushartha into a Arthakama Purushartha, doing Sandhya Vandanam for promotion and higher salaries. Therefore, a Karma Yogi performs Panchamahayajna, focusing upon inner growth. And Krishna says, such a Karma Yogi is a sannyasi. And here, mind you, he is referring a Karma Yogi as a Grihastha. And he says, such a Karma Yogi is a sannyasi. He is as good as a monk, as good as a renunciate, even though he has not formally renounced the family, even though he has not put on saffron robes, he can still be considered to be a sannyasi. Why? Because he has renounced the concern for material benefit. He may undertake activities for material benefits. Mind you, these are all very subtle points that we have to remember. But normally, our human mind is what? It is a day and night mind. Oh, if the person has got no interest in material benefits, that means he is averse to material action for material benefits. That is not the way we have to understand. Either this extreme or that extreme. No. This person may undertake activities for material benefits, but he has no anxiety about the success or failure. Because once you have this attitude, Karma Yoga attitude, failure does not matter, because whether you succeed or fail, inner growth is guaranteed. In fact, with more failures, inner growth will be more. And that is why, if you remember in the second chapter, Krishna said, for a Karma Yogi, there is never a failure, because he is growing inwardly. Whatever be the external outcome of action. What is failure? How do we define failure? A person has got an objective, a goal, and he fails to achieve that goal, we call him failure. But this person's goal is inner growth. So whether the external action succeeds or fails, he is achieving his goal of inner growth. So a Karma Yogi will never be a failure. Since he has Prasada Buddhi, he will say, I am willing to accept whatever comes as Ishvara Prasada, as God's will, which Krishna again described in the second chapter. Sukha dukke same kritva labha labhau jaya jaya tato yuddhaya yujyasva naivam papam avapsyasi. So comfort, discomfort, success, failure, gain, loss, each experience is a lesson. He learns from each one. Therefore, he is as good as a sannyasi. Then Krishna says here, Sa yogi cha. He is as good as a meditator also. A karma yogi can be termed a meditator, even though he is not a meditator in the literal sense of the term. Because he does not sit in a particular place, he does not have a posture, he does not close the eyes. Still, a karma yogi is as good as a meditator. And Shankaracharya and other commentators give the reason also. if you look at it in the final analysis, what is meditation? The mind dwelling upon one field is meditation. Mind dwelling upon one particular field, or alambana as we call, is called meditation. A karma yogi is a meditator because he is not agitated about his past experience. He is not anxious about the future. His mind is fully available for the present task, which is not available for other persons, because while they are doing one thing, already their mind is thinking of what will happen, will I succeed or not, etc. Therefore, for them, sometimes even 5% of the mind is not available for the task in hand. But as far as a karma yogi is concerned, he plans. Before planning, he thinks for the future. And once he has planned and started implementation, thereafter he does not bother about the result. He has got such confidence in his plans that unless there is some intervention by the external forces, his plan will succeed. Therefore, while implementing, he has got a fully focused mind. And a fully focused mind is a mind in meditation. So we can say a karma yogi practices open eye meditation. And we can also call it meditation because even God is involved in karma yoga. But whatever action he performs, he is offering to the Lord. So you should, whenever we say such statements, whenever it is said karma yogi is a meditator, you must be able to connect all these things. How we can say karma yogi is a meditator? As Krishna said in the 3rd chapter, Mai sarvani karmani sanyasyadhatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vikatajvaraha. Then 5th chapter recently we saw Brahmanya dhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yah lipyate nasa papena padma patra vimambhasah. So a karma yogi is thinking of the Lord always, because every action is offered to the Lord. Therefore, the Lord is the focus. The mind is always focused on the Lord. It's nothing but open eye meditation. And therefore, Krishna says Sahayogi. Thus, a karma yogi is a renunciate, is a meditator in the real sense of the term. And not only that, Krishna goes one step further and says, Na niragnihi. Suppose there is a sannyasi who has renounced everything, no wife, no children, no bank balance, nothing. And he has put on saffron robes also. And he has come out of the house and he is sitting in meditation. And he thinks of how many disciples will I get, looks around to see if any disciple has come. He is thinking of when will I start my own ashrama? When will I have my first foreign trip? Like that, he is thinking of all those things. In today's context, of course, these are the qualifications of a sannyasi. A successful sannyasi, a guru means he should have large number of disciples. He should have an ashrama of his own. He should be traveling, meeting many people, especially foreigners. How many foreigner students he has got, that is another scale on which a sannyasi guru is measured. Many people have got those ideas. And suppose after renouncing everything, putting on saffron robes also, if I am going to think of all those things, Externally, I may be a sannyasi, but I am not a true sannyasi. Therefore, Krishna says, Na niragnihi. Niragnihi means an external sannyasi. A sannyasa ashrami is called niragnihi. The word agnihi means a fire ritual. In fact, the word agni has got several meanings, and one meaning is fire ritual. The literal meaning is fire, and since fire is used in the rituals, Agni means fire ritual, Vedic ritual. And Niragnihi means one who has given up all these Vedic rituals, who has broken the sacred thread, which is a symbol of external sannyasa called ashrama sannyasa. All that he has done. And he says here, Niragnihi na, not a ashrama sannyasi. Na means he is not a real sannyasi. If he is going to think of all other things. On the other hand, a karma yogi is a grihastha, a householder. But he is a sannyasi because his mind is focused. Similarly, nacha akriya. Akriya means an external meditator. Imagine there is a person who sits in a place with proper posture, keeping the body straight, eyes closed. He has got a mala also, to do meditation or japa. Sant Kabir Das, I don't know, many of you might have heard, there's a beautiful doha. Mala pherat jug bhaya, phirana man ka pher, kar ka man ka dhar de, man ka pher. He says, this fellow sitting with eyes closed, the tongue is rolling, chanting the Nama, the fingers roll the beads in the mala, and the mind rolls all over the world. That is the kind of sannyasi he is. So he's not a real sannyasi. Real sannyasam is what are you doing with your mind? That is the real test. Not outwardly what you are trying to show yourself as. So from the worldly angle, people will say, oh, that Babaji has sat and is meditating. He is a great meditator, yogi. But since his mind is not focused, Krishna says that quiet person is akriya hai. It means he is a quietly sitting person only, who is not a real meditator. Because only his body is sitting quietly, but his mind is running all over. It is like, these meetings and all take place, general body meetings, so many meetings. They practice this in the beginning of the meeting, 1 minute silence to condole the death of some person and pray for the departed souls. So you observe a 1 minute silence and you watch your mind at that time. During that 1 minute, you will think of every blessed thing except that departed soul. And also, you will be thinking when this 1 minute will be over. You can see some people, half opening the eyes and seeing their watch when that 1 minute is going to be over. And you will also see whether anyone else is moving so that you can also endure silence. That 1 minute is such a torturous 1 minute. And you are supposed to be in meditation for that 1 minute, praying for the departed soul. Therefore, a silently sitting person need not be a true meditator, but a householder who is active in life. He is a meditator if he is a karma yogi with focus. That is the message of this shloka. Now we'll see the next sloka. Yam sanyasamiti prahuhu yogam tam vidhi pandava nahyas sanyasta sangalpa yogi bhavati kaschana. He Pandava, yam prahuhu sanyasam iti tam yogam vidhi hi na kaschana bhavati yogi asanyasta sangalpaha. He Pandava, O Arjuna, yam prahuhu, that by which they call sanyasamiti as renunciation, tam yogam is that karma yoga alone. Vidhi, may you understand. He, for, na kaschana, nobody, bhavati yogi, becomes a karma yogi, asanyasta sangalpaha, without renouncing fancies. O Arjuna, may you understand that which they call renunciation is that karma yoga alone. For nobody becomes a karma yogi without renouncing the fancies. So, in the previous shloka, Krishna mentioned that karma yogi is the real sannyasi and not necessarily a saffron robed person. I don't mean to say that all saffron robed persons are all not real sannyasis. Huh? Don't misunderstand like that. But donning a saffron robe does not necessarily mean that he is a real sannyasi. Similarly, all grihasthas are not karma yogis. A grihastha with a karma yogi attitude, who is a karma yogi, is a real sannyasi. That we must understand very clearly. And in this verse, Krishna is justifying that statement. Krishna wants to say that external renunciation can never be considered a real renunciation because self-knowledge is not connected with the external body, but self-knowledge is connected with the mind and intellect. So, even after making a few external changes, if the mind continues to be the same, what is the use? And that is why, you find so many people are sannyasis, but they do not enjoy the benefit of sannyasa. They too have equal number of worries, equal problems, equal headaches. In fact, many of them begin to regret taking sannyasa. And the tragedy is sannyasa is a one-way traffic. A grihastha can become a sannyasi, but a sannyasi cannot go back. So many people regret. Therefore, Krishna says, real sannyasa is the sannyasa of the concerns of the mind. Sannyasa of those things which disturb the mind. And we find that one of the main things that disturb the mind is the concern about the future. What will happen to me tomorrow? What will happen to me after 5 years, 10 years? If I survive, if I live. This is one of the major concerns. And after marriage, the concern is double. Because not only I think what will happen to me in future, but also what will happen to my spouse in future. And as you grow older, there is also a thinking, if my spouse dies before me, what will I do? Or on the contrary, if I die first, what will my spouse do? What will happen to him or her? This worry about the future then extends to children, grandchildren, etc. So our whole life is spent in sankalpa. You must understand this word sankalpa very carefully. Sankalpa means planning, scheming, worrying about the future only. And Krishna says, as long as a person has not tackled that, he or she cannot come to self-knowledge because quality time will not be available for the mind. And therefore he says, such a person, even though he may be a sannyasi, cannot get self-knowledge if he is worried about the future. A grihastha also cannot get self-knowledge if he is worried about the future. So worry of the future is an obstacle. Renunciation of that worry is the real renunciation. And a karma yogi has exactly done that. And therefore, karma yogi fits in with the definition of a real sannyasi. But we should note one thing. Worrying about the future is different from planning for the future. I have said this earlier also, but it is worth remembering in this context. Planning is a deliberate action which you can do at a fixed time and take into account all the contingencies. On the other hand, worrying is never a deliberate action. It is a mechanical reaction which can happen at any time. In the midst of whatever you are doing, worry can surface. You can have a time slot for planning, but you cannot fix a time for worrying. You cannot say, okay, I will do one thing. I'll get up in the morning and do all my morning rituals. And then from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, I will do planning for my future. Then from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, I will worry whether all my plans will work out or not. You can't do that. Worry can surface at any time. So you can have a time slot for planning, but you cannot fix a time for worrying. So therefore, you must understand there is a difference between planning and worrying. Planning makes you efficient in the present. Worry makes you inefficient in the present. And the one who has given up worrying is called a sannyasi. Whatever be the robe that he is wearing, white robe, saffron robe, doesn't matter. So he says, Hyasanyasta sankalpaha yogi bhavati. So if a person has to become a karma yogi, he has to necessarily renounce sankalpaha. As I told you, sankalpaha means obsession with the future. How do you define obsession with the future? Obsession to such an extent that you are not able to function in the present. Very deep concern, worry about the future. So a person who gives up sankalpa alone is a karma yogi, and therefore a karma yogi can be called sankalpa sannyasi. So this is another definition of general preparation. What should be the attitude for a real sannyasi? Now next sloka. I think we'll have time for just reading the sloka. Description we'll see in the next class. Okay. Adurukshormunir yogam karma karanamuchyate yogarudhasya tasyaiva shamakkaranamuchyate. The Anvaya of this sloka is Munehe Arurukshoho Yogam Karma Uchyate Karanam Tasya Yogasya Arudhasya Tasya Yoga Arudhasya Shama eva uchyate karanam. The word meaning is munehe, for a seeker, arurukshoho, who wants to reach yogam, dhyana yoga, karma yoga, karanam is said to be the means. Tasya, for him, yoga arudhasya, who has reached the dhyana yoga, shamahe eva, renunciation alone, uchyate karanam is said to be the means. So for a seeker who wants to reach dhyana yoga, karma yoga is said to be the means. For those who have reached dhyana yoga, renunciation is said to be the means. So the details we'll see in the next class. Okay, stop here. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavasichyate. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all very much.
धन्यवाद.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Guruji, very much.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Hari Om Guru.
Hari Om. Yes, any questions, doubts?
Guruji, in order to meditate, you have to focus on something very abstract, is it?
Not necessarily.
Then your mind will not wander.
It depends upon, see, mind will not wander not because you are meditating on something. Mind will wander if that focus is not there and your subconscious things are surfacing. So the first thing is you have to first clean up that. And whatever you are meditating on, for example, from a Vedantic point of view, what are we going to meditate? We are going to meditate on the abstract only. Whereas normal meditation, you will meditate on, say, for example, you are meditating on Mahavishnu. Vishnu Sahasranamam, you are meditating the Dhyana slokas. Okay. So you bring into your mind each Dhyana sloka and visualize Mahavishnu with all those kinds of descriptions, you know, his physical appearance, the ornaments that he is wearing, all that is there in the Vishnu Sahasranamam Dhyana Loka. That can be also one type of meditation. Right? But when we are talking in Vedantic terms, we are talking about meditation on Aham Brahmasmi.
Okay.
Aham Brahmasmi is abstract so far as we are concerned. Right? Because we are calling it abstract because we are distancing ourselves from that. We are occupying that Brahmasmi and we say it is abstract. But if you say, no, it is not abstract, it is myself only. I am meditating on my real nature, then it is not abstract. It is yourself which you are. I mean, there nothing can be more real, more what you can call tangible than your own self. So you basically, when you are saying Aham Brahmasmi, you are meditating on yourself, your power, your capabilities, what your real place in this entire universe is. You are actually meditating on that.
That means you have to build the willpower to concentrate on a particular object, maybe abstract or otherwise.
Yeah, that is true. But then here what is that? We have learned all these things. We have learned all the slokas. So the slokas have told us what is our real nature. Right? All the mantras tell us. Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, everything is told us. We are only meditating on that. So it is just like, to give you a very crude example, suppose you are Krishna, right? Tomorrow also, I'm going to tell you, from tomorrow, I am going to call you Madhavan.
Mm.
Officially, you are going to be called Madhavan.
Mm.
Now, you want, because in your mind, your name has been Krishna for the last several decades.
Mm.
Now you want to change that. How will you do
Hmm.
that? So you say, I am not Krishnan, I am Madhavan, I am not Krishnan, I am Madhavan. Meditate on that.
Mm.
So the word, your name as Krishnan is already sitting in your subconscious mind.
Mm.
So that even when you are sleeping, when you are called Krishnan, you will wake up.
Correct.
Right?
Mm.
Because the subconscious mind is working.
Mm.
Your conscious mind may be sleeping, but
Mm.
subconscious mind is working. The moment somebody calls you Krishnan, that surfaces, so that is there, so you wake up immediately. Similarly, you have to now remove that Krishnan from subconscious mind and push in the name Madhavan in that. For that, you meditate. Keep on meditating for as many years or as much time as possible. So that word Madhavan then becomes, then if you call, somebody calls you Krishnan, you will not turn around or you will not wake up. Only when somebody calls you Madhavan, you will wake up. Right? That is the role of meditation. All along, we have been thinking that we are a limited entity, we are a bound entity, we are in bondage, and we have so many things that, and we have never ever compared ourselves to actually Bhagavan, Ishvara. We have always been told that you cannot do, how can you be Ishvara? It's blasphemy for you to even claim. And that is where all the other philosophies are stuck. They are refusing to cross that line. Whereas Advaita Vedanta crosses that line, says that this go to Nididhyasanam, change your character, change. But it is not just a physical or a mental understanding. With that change, your entire approach to the world in your day-to-day transactions also changes.
Correct.
That is what happens. Today, you see all others as your competitors. In whatever sense, not necessarily economically speaking. Suppose you feel that you are very good in telling jokes.
Okay.
Suppose you are sitting in a group with a group of people, you are actually entertaining them by telling jokes. Then there is another person comes. He starts telling jokes, and people seem to be enjoying him more than your own jokes. That person becomes a competitor.
Correct.
So he can actually invoke a sense of dvesha in you, from where I was actually captivating all these people and this fellow has come and interfere.
Taken my place.
Jealousy in you. Oh my God, he's so much better than me. How can I be? So these things, the small thing you take, this all happens. So even in very, very mundane things, we can see competition in others. In fact, there is a competition every day between the spouse, husband and wife at home. You observe that. I mean, I can give you examples after examples. On day-to-day basis, there is a competition. So
maybe may not be an intentional thing.
no, not in
it's subconscious.
In your subconscious. You have no control over that. You have no control over it. I'm not saying intentionally you are trying to hurt somebody.
Yes.
But then you end up hurting somebody. The whole Nididhyasanam converts that into, with full awareness, you make sure that you don't hurt anybody. That is the difference. One you are doing without awareness and say, I'm sorry. The other one is you prevent yourself from doing it with full awareness. The moment the thought comes in your mind, you are controlling that thought. You are managing that. No, don't do that. The other person will get disturbed or
upset. Yes.
Upset because of if you say that, the other person will get upset. In fact, we would have observed, at least I have this experience. If I am able to say, if I'm about to say something to somebody, my wife will be sitting next to me and she will just, do some indication.
Okay.
If I don't say it, she knows what I'm going to say. And she knows that it is going to hurt the other person. So she will actually touch my thigh or my hand or something, prevent me from saying that. So instead of somebody else doing it, you do it yourself. Prevent yourself from saying something which will hurt the other person, which will disturb the other person. So this is what the conversion, when I say you meditate on Aham Brahmasmi, what is the nature of that Brahman? Once we understand from the Gita and Upanishads and all, then that love, compassion is what will be uppermost in your life. Whoever it is, let him be the worst of your enemies before you became a real sannyasi. Real sannyasi means not a formal sannyasi. My mental sannyasi you became. Even you, he might have been your worst enemy, you will still have a compassion, love, understanding for that person. So, na dveshti na kankshati, Krishna said, right? So, you will not have any such dvesha or, akanksha from other people. Oh, I am so and so, I expect that fellow to come and do namaskaram to me. So, all that thing, will all be there. But these are all the things which create problem for us.
That ego should not come in the way.
Ego should be completely diluted.
Diluted.
Completely diluted. And that is what we will achieve when we do successful nididhyasa.
Yeah, correct.
So it is about internal transformation, nothing to do with the external world. Let the external world be the same. It can be worst. But I will transform myself. It is because for my benefit, not for anything else. So that is the whole process which happens in this.
Hopefully, at the end of chapter 6, we'll all be good meditators.
Yeah, at least we will understand what are the important points when we sit for meditation. Because today's age, meditation has become a business, number one.
Of course.
People sit for meditation and to
It
claim
becomes a fashion. It has become a fashion more than.
no understanding at all what meditation is all about. It does not bring. That is why I keep saying, people say, I am doing a yoga. I'm doing yoga. They don't do yoga. They only do a few yogasanas.
Asanas.
And in Ashtanga yoga, yogasanas is only one anga. Yoga, the whole yoga shastra starts with niyama and yama and niyama. Without following yama and niyama, what is the use? Yama and niyama are meant for your behavioral corrections or behavioral transformation. And only when you have that behavioral transformation will this yogasana give you the benefit which is claimed. Otherwise, you can go on doing yoga, and while doing yoga, your mind may be roaming around.
Wandering, yeah, definitely.
What is the use of that exercise? It is not being absorbed at all.
True.
So here at the end of 6th chapter, we will know what are the important points that I should observe, both in terms of general sadhanas, specific sadhanas, and what are the benefit I should accept.
Ultimately, yes.
Expect rather, because I should not have, I have done yoga, so I should get this benefit. That you must be realistic. You must know what benefit you can really expect. You study for medicine and you cannot turn out to be an engineer, isn't it? So if you study for medicine, you will turn out to be a doctor only. So that you should understand. What will you get out of this? So all that end of 6th chapter, we will know.
Okay. Good. Thank you very much. Namaskaram, Guruji. Namaskaram.
Guruji, namaste. I don't have a very interesting subject about this meditation and the requirements and all that. I just wanted to, could you just repeat the last two sentences that you said, Guruji? For a seeker who wants to achieve Dhyana Yoga, Karma Yoga is the way, and another sentence is said. The last two sentences, I know you'll be repeating it in the next class, but I was just.
So, Samatvam is lead to Karma Yoga. Ultimately, what Krishna is coming to, what is the connection between all these? Karma Yoga, Samatvam, right? So, for a seeker who wants to reach Dhyana Yoga, Karma Yoga is said to be the means.
Yeah.
So first you must have done karma yoga sadhana, then you can reach this meditation dhyana yoga stage.
Yes, Guruji.
Right? Then for the one who has reached dhyana yoga, renunciation is said to be the means. You cannot reach after karma yoga, because karma yoga itself is a definition of renunciation, right? Which I explained how a karma yogi renounces the world, how a karma yogi is actually a meditator himself.
Meditation is sannyasi.
That's as compared to an external sannyasi, right? So karma yoga is the means for dhyana yoga, right? And
Yes,
dhyana
Guruji.
yoga is the means for renunciation.
Yes, got it.
Got it?
Got it.
I hope I have been clear.
Yes, got it. Thank you.
Between the three, you know. So ultimately, what Krishna wants to say is most important, develop samatvam. That's all. One word you can remember. Equal approach to everything, whether it is sukha, dukkha, labha, alabha, all that, you know. Once you have that kind of a mental attitude, it doesn't matter. Develop that attitude, change of transformation from what to so what. Nothing is important in life. That you should. Everything is important, but nothing is important in order to make you run behind it, worry for it. That is how you must we must be able to convert or change your way of thinking.
Thank you very much, sir.
Well and good, not well, no problem. That is what it is. Yeah.
Hari
Okay.
Om.
Thank you, Hari Om. Thank you. Any other?
Namaste, Namaste Guruji.
Namaste.
Yeah. Actually, you have told every now and then, and at the end of the 5th chapter also, you have given the introduction of the 6th chapter. That time you have mentioned to some extent, but I just want to know, like in the 6th chapter, we are going through how to do meditation, what are the obstacles, what are the remedies, like that. What is the falashruti of dhyana sadhana? That is also mentioned.
Yeah, yeah. What is that? Is Falashruti means what are the fruits, results of
Yeah.
meditation,
What is the achievement?
achievement. So in that also, there are many different people may have different expectations.
Uh,
So you will explain what you should realistically expect out of this. You
that
can't say
is there.
that, oh, I expected that, but that didn't happen. I did meditation, because your expectation was wrong. As I said, you know, somebody expressed after doing dhyana, I will obtain all the siddhis. I will become Ashtasiddhi, you know. So Ashtasiddha, rather. I will have all kind of powers. That is not going to happen in meditation.
Yes.
We must have realistic expectation. That Krishna explains what you can expect for the Shruti.
Yeah. So that is mentioned. Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay. Okay. Is that all? Okay, then we'll close. Next week will be from US. Next class. Okay, Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
You.
Hari Om.